What's going on, people? Welcome to the live match reaction. Palace 0, Fulham 2. It is not going to be a long show because one, there is that I should talk about, and two, I simply don't have the time. But look, we'll be going through all the comments. The lines are open right now, so if you do want to call in, we'll go through calls quickly. But yeah, I mean, Daichi Kamada, red card, Lacroix, mistake. I think those were the two key moments of the game that eventually led to this result. But I'll be honest, I didn't really have much expectation going into the game. So it's not even a case of me being mad or sad. I think it was the same old situation, and in terms of certain players letting us down. And here we are with another defeat, with a depleted Palace squad. The only real positive that I can think about right now, anyways, is Justin Devaney, who slotted in today, who started today, which was a brave call by Oliver Glasner, and he didn't look out of place. But I think, simply put, if you look at both teams' benches and even maybe the starting 11, you can see the difference right there. You don't have to look beyond that. You look at some of the players that they're bringing on, some of the players that we have on the bench. You can say it's the injury crisis, which of course doesn't help, and that's why my expectations were low going into the game. It's just not good enough. And yeah, I mean, this was a game which we would just had to navigate through. And then after this game, after the international break, hopefully have a few plays back and then we kick on again. So for me, it's no major shock about the result. Just disappointing because I felt like the first goal could have been avoided. Lacroix, who's having a great first half. And I think after that first goal, the game really changed. It changed from that point onwards. And then, of course, the red card, Daichi Kamada, which I'm pretty sure will be another talking point today. The fact that he got sent off, I was at the game today, and some fans were doing gestures which I can't show on screen right now towards him. Shows the feeling towards Daichi Kamada right now. It is very toxic towards him. To be fair, he has been a massive disappointment so far. I do think he's trying too hard. He tried too hard there to try and press the fans, to try going for a tackle, but it was silly. It was another red card. It could have been worse today than a 2-0. I'll be honest. I kept looking at the score whilst trying to set this up, thinking, is it actually 2-0? Like, did I actually say 2-0? Because it just felt like the most 3-0 game possible. But yeah, we managed to survive. I guess it was better than the 3-0, the 2-0 with the VAR decisions on the other end. The new boys, in a way, apart from, well, yeah, actually, Lacroix was involved as well. It just wasn't good enough. Ismail Issa was another player today, disappointing. And we didn't create much, even though there were tight margins in the first half. I mean, there was that chance from Mateta, which got cleared off the line by Joachim Andersen. But yeah, it's just nothing was working today. It just wasn't working today. It was going against us. The only thing that went for us is the VAR decisions. Apart from that, it was a dire afternoon. It was the afternoon that we just needed it to finish so we can have this international break, and hopefully after the international break bring in a few more players. And I'm looking at the likes of Eze, etc., because the injury crisis right now is not good. It is not looking good going into the game. And you know, that Kamada red card, stupid from him, doesn't help the situation further because that's another player now that's missing. So yeah, let's see what happens. Anyways, let's go through to the callers. I'll be reading our comments as well. As I said, I can't stay on for too long, so I'm going to try and go through the show quickly. Alex, 2-0 defeat to Fulham. I just gave my thoughts. I don't think there's much that really went on in terms of, apart from key moments. Lacroix mistake right before half time. I don't know what he was thinking. I thought we had a great first half, apart from that silly mistake, because there was no option to pass through that gap.
That mistake, I feel like, had been coming in terms of the way he passes. He passes it so low that it often gets intercepted, and that almost happened twice in the first half. But that I was never expecting one that was just that Emil Smith Rowe read so well and just basically embarrassed him. So first off, I would like to say to the fans that didn't want Emil Smith Rowe, you can go fly a kite, okay? Seriously. At the start of this whole thing, like, people were like, he's injury prone. He is a great player. If he gets hurt, so be it. But we were basing Nketiah and Sarr things on potential. We actually saw that Emil Smith Rowe is a great scorer. and people just gave up. It was like, oh, he hadn't scored in 2 years, and it's like if you actually watch the game, he always looks like he's going to score. He had a bad streak. So I'm mad at those people. I will just say that. D, I think you're on my side with that.
Yeah, I wanted Smith Rowe. I did want Smith Rowe. A lot of talk in the summer was about the price tag, about injury concerns. I mean, if we do our medicals, and if he can't find, if he doesn't pass the fitness test, then fine, then don't get him. But I would have took that gamble because I feel like we needed a creative player behind the
Yeah.
strike, and I think he offered that creativity. But pilots
Yeah.
decided not to. And then today, when you look at some of the options that we had on the pitch, it just wasn't good enough going forwards. It wasn't.
Very uncreative players that we got to replace Elise. And I said it at the start of the year that Sar and Kamada, that's not their game. They do not like beat their man. They will try to pass through it. It hasn't been working, especially for Kamada. But I don't know. Like it's looking worse and worse decision, and so I can understand that frustration. It is coming through the television too that every time that Kamada does something even slightly not amazing, he's lost the fans. It seems like he's lost them. I don't know what it would take for him to turn it, but I don't, like I can't get too mad at the fans for that. I don't, I thought he was dreadful today. He had 2 passes that broke the lines. Other than that, I couldn't say much of anything he did. And that's before the red card. Our response after the goal in the second half was probably what made me the most angry. So here we are trying to get back into the game. I think we got like one okay chance. People were pointing it out. That was the one where we were like kind of passing it through, and then Munoz gets a shot off. That's the only one I can remember. But where was the endeavor? I know that we're short people, but it's frustrating. And I will say, there's a reason why we're lumping it long. It's because we can't really play our way up the field. We need to hit it up the field so that hopefully we can press. And for a few minutes we could, but we couldn't pass it through Fulham. I don't know. I there was a lot of frustrating things. D, I'm sorry that you can't
Surprised by
stay
it,
on
though.
long.
I'm not really that surprised by it. That's why I'm not
Yeah,
like.
me neither. Me neither. Just the severity of the loss. I think it should have been a 4-0.
It could have been.
Because I I thought that it was offsides at first. But then once they showed like the other replay, then I was like, it's right on, but it's close. And then the handball is completely accidental, but like Wilson's so free that if he doesn't handle that, it's an easy goal. Like, yeah,
Yeah. What do we do from here onwards then? Is it just getting players back fit? I think we'll
that's
come
part
out
of it.
for till the 7th of December, I believe. Or
I
for
I
Man City.
cannot see the chat. I saw on Twitter a lot of people saying, Daichi Kamada's getting a 3-game ban. Can we ban him the rest of the season? I'm not going to be that mean. I'm more on your side where it's like, great, we've lost another person, regardless of how poor he was today. He was poor. But like, I'm not sure if people have made that joke on here. I've seen it a lot on social
But
media.
it shows how the fan base is feeling towards Kamada, and you can tell by
Yeah,
performance on the pitch, he's just trying to do too much. I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know how we get out of this mud with Kamada. I don't know how it's going to work out because the fan base. I mean, as I said, I was at the ground, and when he got a red card, people were waving towards Kamada. That's what happens when an opposition gets sent off.
right.
Like type of energy it is, and it is just too toxic towards him. I don't know how it's going to end up with Kamada, but let's see. We've got international break.
Yeah.
Defeat, but
Is it
a lot
is
of
it
things.
true that the fans seem to still be in support of Glasner on the
Yeah.
what
There
can
was
you
nothing about Oliver
good.
Glasgow. today.
I think he gets 2 more games, which is unfortunate. It's not
I think
his
he gets
fault.
more than 2 more games.
What's that?
I think he gets more than 2 more games.
Well, I'm basing it on Parrish, and I'm basing it on his ego.
But Parrish is not really the one to. Even with Vieira, he kept him for quite a while. I don't think he'll sack at this point.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll sack him. I don't think he should be sacked right now.
I
Look
don't
at the
think he
squad.
should be sacked at
Look at the
all.
squad. I mean, who's going to get more? Like
He's trying
he can get
everything.
anything out of these players right now. It's just
Yeah.
it's terrible the depth and everything. But yeah, I don't think he'll get sacked. But let's
Good.
see. Let's
I
see.
hope so.
Alex,
Thanks, Steve.
we'll catch up with you after the international break. Enjoy the break,
Yeah.
and hopefully Palace could have a few players back by then as well. Take care.
Please. Let's. Oh my goodness. Have a good one, dude.
Take care. Let's bring on Henry next. Henry, you was at the game today, I guess. 2-0 defeat to Fulham. Your thoughts?
I'm just deflated, to be honest. It was a very uninspiring performance. I don't quite know. Like it, I have slightly mixed feelings because I thought, as uncreative as we was before we conceded, we were, to a certain extent, we were sort of holding our own, at least defensively. And I think the timing of Fulham's first goal was crucial because if you go to half-time at 0-0, I think the complexion of the game is a lot different. But conceding that goal right at the break was a hammer blow, really. And I didn't see it happening from a Lacroix mistake because I actually thought he was doing really well until that moment. He was pretty good. He was solid, reading the play quite well. He made a last-ditch tackle to deny. I think it was their striker. What's his name? Jimenez.
Jimenez, yeah.
But I mean, the things that concern me, the way that we're again, I keep saying it, losing the ball so frequently. I mean, you could tell at least the intentions were right. We were trying to spray the ball to the wide positions, but unfortunately, it was a combination of just sloppy passing, passes with just not enough weight on them, or not enough accuracy, or just not enough speed. Like, if you're too slow, then the opposition are going to read it easily. And Fulham are no mugs.
Yeah.
I mean, Kamada is... I think... I don't want to give up on him, and I understand the frustrations from the fans because he didn't have a good game today, really. And I thought that I thought there was hope that he could build on his, because he did play really good after his goal against Villa in the Cup, and that sort of gave him a boost of confidence. And you thought, okay, let's bring that to today. But I think it's a psychological thing with Kamada, and the fact that he's still adjusting to the pace of the league, the physicality of the league. I don't want to get on his back too much, but he was poor today. We have to admit that, and I don't know what's going to happen with him in moving forward, but just the lack of creativity, really. I mean, I can't think of many chances apart from maybe Munoz in the second half, and then I think it was the new guy Devaney had a follow-up shot which maybe he could have done better with, but obviously it's his debut and he's a very young guy. But I thought he was quite, I thought he was quite good, to be fair. I liked what I saw from him. But one thing that really gets me as well, I don't know if you think this as well, but it seems to me like whenever I watch our games, it's almost like a basketball match, because as soon as we attack and then we lose the ball, and then suddenly they attack, and it's like we look so exposed and open every time we lose the ball. especially when we're attacking. Like the ability to track back and regain our shape after we've lost the ball when we're attacking is it's just not good enough. Like it's just we can't. That's not a sustainable way to play. Like you can't just have an attack and rely on keeping the ball. Like we have to have some sort of alternative if we lose the ball. And it was just so weird because there was a few times where we looked like scoring, but as soon as we lose that ball, it's like you just get that impending feeling of dread that they're going to score as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're talking about the goal that was disallowed. That's when it was a bit crazy. But that came from a set piece when they scored and it was offside, Emil Smith Rowe. But I think the one positive is Devaney. He didn't look for place today, which was positive to see. And I mean, let's see after the international break, he might be called upon once again. But it's good that at least he held his ground.
Yeah. I mean, the to be honest, right, I'm not even joking. I didn't even realise it was only 2-0 until I left the ground. I thought it was 3. I didn't realise.
Yeah, the same. I don't know why.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't really know where we go from here, to be honest. Like, I mean, we can try and get players back, but I just, it's on the players. I think it's on the players because the manager can't legislate for, he can't account for players just being sloppy and not doing their job, like defensively not doing their jobs, giving too many chances away. Not enough concentration. Like at times we just fall asleep, and it's annoying because I know that we can, if we work as a team and actually, focus, then we can beat anyone. But when we don't, we just look so lethargic and so passive and so like timid and weak, and it's just demoralizing. It really is, because you think that we've grown a little bit of momentum with that win against Tottenham and the draw against Wolves, and now I'm thinking maybe the only reason we beat Tottenham was because Tottenham was so poor away from home. Like I think they literally have one of the worst, if not the worst, away records in the past year. It's just I don't think blaming it on Glasner is fair. I just think that we just need to get better, but it's hard to see. It's hard to see an immediate solution. I mean, I don't know what you think, but it's hard to see it getting better anytime soon.
I think once we get the players back, I think naturally we should be getting better. Decore looked solid today when he came on, I thought. So if we put Wharton alongside Decore, I think we have a bit more creativity in that midfield area. Then you put Eze there instead of, I mean, Sarr was non-existent today, and the attack, it wasn't great.
He didn't really
as well, which for me is not the case. I mean, if once players come back, I think naturally will improve. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But look, Henry, great talking to you. Hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon.
Cheers.
Take care. Let's bring on Tim next. I haven't got long left, so go through the call this quickly before I wrap up. Tim,
I'll be fast. Yeah, it sucks. It stinks. But let me just quickly, I didn't expect much coming into this match.
Yeah.
I still think that Glasner is the right person. I think he's the right manager. I want him to be given plenty of time to turn this around. I do think there's a lot to get right. He said he was going to play the youth. He did. He played Devaney, played Agbenoni. I mean, it didn't give Agbenoni and Kapora a lot of minutes, but he gave him some, and that's important. So what do there's an open question. What do you do from here? I mean, there's a part of me that is deeply frustrated with the kind of performances we're seeing. But at the same time, if you had told me at the beginning of the season, D, that the cover we had at, central midfield, we had 4 players. We had used Corey, Lerma, and Wharton, and that we were going to find ourselves struggling to have even one of them for a half in a game just 11 matches in, I would have said, what the hell happened? And so I do think there are some mitigating circumstances here. Having said that, I am of the belief now that the attack is a serious problem. And I don't disagree with the idea of not blocking Jess, like sending him out to Sheffield United, letting him get a season so we get lots of minutes so he can come back and be the player next season. I think that was the right move. I now think it's the right move to recall him. And I think you got to put Ismail Yassar and Daichi Kamada on notice and say, like, look, this guy's coming back and he's going to get a lot of minutes. We are going to give him a chance because I do think we believe that he is the future. And I think if we went out into the market in January, D, and we bought somebody for that position, say goodbye to Jess. I mean, that's
Yes.
that. He's too good
But
a player. He won't stick if we buy a youngster.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so I think there are things we could do. I think the January window will be interesting. I still think we need wingback cover, but is the reason that is not having wingback cover the reason that we are where we are right now? They've played every game. So
I don't think Mitchell will help today. I don't think he had a particularly great game. I don't know what you thought about him, but it doesn't really help when, there was no creativity all over the pitch. Like, that's the thing. It's a combination. But then again, you look at the bench. And when Schlupke won, I don't know why. I just have this feeling whenever he comes on, that's game set and done.
I know. And it's so... I'm with you on this, D. It's really sad because I like Jeffrey Schlupp, but I have that same exact feeling, and it's terrible. I don't like it, but I do. Look, we can play the kids a little bit more here. We can ease them in. Remember that under Patrick Vieira, Michael Elise started playing like 15 minutes at a time. Like, it was a really slow introduction of him. So I do think there is some things that we could do. I think that I'd like to see more of Asher Agbenoni. But look, it's a tough place right now. It's not good. I don't like it, and we should not be deluded into thinking that that this isn't serious. It is serious. Of course it's serious. Two things can be true. It can be serious, and we could be stupid and panic and do really dumb things. And I think ejecting on Glasner would be that would be stupid.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that right now because when you look at the team today, it wasn't a great team. And then still, despite that, in the first half, if the Mateta goal, shot header, I think it was, doesn't get cleared off the line, it could be 1-0 down, but just tight margins. And today we didn't deserve anything out of the game. It was just, I don't know. I don't even understand why I stayed until the 97th minute. There was nothing, literally, and a lot of fans did leave early.
Yeah,
we needed this international break. We've got it now, so let's see what we do.
Big time. Do you have super quick question, and then I'll let you go so you can get Jack on here. I noticed nobody's talking about how we broke up the back line today and put Kleiny in the left center back. Am I wrong? Because I only got to listen to it, but am I wrong that they were just targeting the right side? They're going right after, try to get in behind Mitchell and go right after that side over and over and over and over again. And that was, that seemed profitable for them.
Yeah, I think the wing backs, they're targeting those areas because of course they're pushing high up. So I think that's the natural space that they could target. And I think a lot of teams will. That's why you have the 3 defenders and someone should be covering. But just in general, defensively, they created three chances. That counter attack was really poor from us, from that corner, from our corner. But you look at some of the players that they've got in their team, they would easily play for us, especially in attack. And I think that's where the problem lies. But then again, I don't think we're as bad as we've shown today. I think we will have better performances once you have Wharton, 100% Wharton, which is exciting.
Yeah, they need the midfield back.
To to see that happen, and then Doucouré alongside him. So
Sure.
after the international break, hopefully we can have Walton and Doucouré playing.
I hope so.
Let's see if Eze's back, and then I think things will naturally improve in that regards, especially if we can't create with the wing backs, and we can create through the middle. So that's what I'm betting on right now. But let's see. We've needed this international break, and we've got it. So let's see what we do in these next few weeks, Tim. But look, great having you on.
Up the Palace. Come
Up
on,
the Palace,
let's keep going. CD, take care.
Take care. Let's bring on Jack next before we do wrap up. Jack.
Hi, mate. Okay.
Disappointing defeat at home, but I mean, can we really complain after what we saw today?
I didn't come to the game expecting anything. However, I just think that the manner of the defeat. I mean, I'm done with Kamada. Absolutely done. How many opportunities he's had? He's had his little confidence boost, and I just think he's shown he's not at the level. I think it's simple as that. He's reckless. He's absolutely reckless. Today was the first game. As you can see, we're driving back to Cardiff at the moment. Today was the first game that I've seen in person, and it was an eye-opener because he looks bad on the TV, but today he's an accident waiting to happen. All game. But yeah, I mean, the result, I didn't expect much from it. I thought it was going to be a difficult game. But yeah, I just the thing that concerns me is even when we had a better selection, maybe not the selection we wanted, but he played Kamada anyway. So that's my concern. Today he had to, and he had no option. But even when he's had an option to switch it up, he's still put faith in him. I don't know. It's a weird one, really.
At what point does that end, though? Do you think that could end after this red card?
I think today it ends. I think we've been very patient with him. I think he's had plenty of opportunity, and I do think he's had plenty of time. But I don't think I think he's shown today he's not at the level. I said all game he's an accident waiting to happen, and he goes in and puts a challenge like that. It's one thing wanting to work hard and maybe being a bit over the top, but that's just reckless. That's simple as that.
He doesn't have the confidence. He doesn't have the confidence.
No.
He even said it, I think, after the Villa game in the cup.
Realistically, he's had 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like when he scored that goal at Villa, he looked good for 20 minutes. How many games has he played this season?
Yes,
We're when he goes into the straws.
We got overrun when he goes into midfield. You can't play in that midfield with the two midfield, in my opinion. Even in the 10 position, there's times where Mitchell's running down the line. You give it back to Gahey, and it's just everything that it seems like he's been doing is just the wrong decision right now. He's struggling. He's struggling massively, and Glasner just needs to stop the experiment by giving him minutes because other players can't be any worse than him. I'm looking at Asher Agbenoni, for example. Yeah. I'd rather have him on the pitch than Daiki Kamada doing nothing. And today, that summed up. You was at the ground today. I don't know where you're sitting, but when you got that red card, I was surprised.
Mate, we was in prime view. We was in the half weight, and he was running directly at us, and I saw it, and I just instantly cringed. I knew it was coming. I mean, you could tell from the reaction from everyone that it was a bad challenge, and you can't have any complaints. Like you go in for a challenge like that, it's just reckless. But it comes from he's not a centre midfielder. I get that, but like. That's where the experiment has to end. Like he's second to every ball. To be fair, there's a couple of times he picked the ball up in good positions today, but then he can't do anything with it. He can't do anything. I just think there's a couple of times again in other games, he's swung a leg at the ball and it's putting us in trouble. He's done the same again today. And like you say, I think a really disappointing thing is we've got a player out on loan in Raksaki, and he's a better player than players that are starting for us. I think it's simple as that.
So
it's either you sign players in January or you bring it back.
Yeah. Do we bring him back? Do you reckon? At this point?
I don't think it's an ideal situation. I think a year on loan is good for him. I mean, I said to you last time, I think he is ready, but also it's one of them where it's going to be a lot of pressure on him. So I don't think sending him out on loan was the wrong option, but you have to assess the situation now. And you've got, I mean, I read the other day, is Kamada one of our highest paid players?
Well,
am I right in thinking that?
According to Palace Way on Twitter, it's pretty reliable also. So
and that's what makes me think is, are we really trying to give him the time because of
exactly.
Is it just, when are we going to admit it's a bad investment? And like I said, I think today's the nail in the coffin. I think he's had plenty of chances, and sadly, if it carries on, the attention's going to turn from Kamada himself to Glasner, and I think it's already started to do that.
It feels like we're trying to justify paying him that much right now.
Yeah, exactly. Personally, I think obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing. I just think when you look at our business, like, squad depth looked good at the start of the season, but also I think you have to look at the individual decisions. I mean, we've got Mateta playing the best football we've seen from a striker at Palace in years, and then you go and sign a £30 million striker and don't want to play him in his natural position. I think that's a terrible decision, especially because Glasner's got one formation that he wants to play, and that doesn't accommodate two strikers. So I think that's a clear issue. You bring in a free player. Yeah, he's played with Glasner before. I mean, you give him incredibly high wages, and he's not lived up to expectation. I mean, I'm just so thankful that we've got Chalobah and Lacroix, to be honest, because they are, regardless of his mistake today, Lacroix is a very decent player, and they all make mistakes, and it's going to happen. But the thing is, we got dismantled today, absolutely dismantled, and you say about, you don't even start looking at the score because it becomes irrelevant because of how badly it went wrong. I mean, it was devastating to see Anderson picking diagonal balls all game long. Do you know what I mean? It's just pay him the money. I know we can't sit here and say anything now because he's gone, but it just, I don't know. I just think when we look at the business, the start of the season looked promising, but I think individual decisions, I don't think it's paid off for us. I mean, it's not good.
Let's see what happens. But look, Jack, have a safe journey back home.
Nice one. Thank you,
and then hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers.
Take care. That was Jack having to say, as I've said, people, I need to wrap up because I need to head off. But if you have enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below, as well as if you have any other questions. And up until next time, up the Palace, and hopefully a few players will be back. But if there's anything significant, then we'll be here during the international break doing Palace news episodes. But until then, take care and see you all next time.